We have made peace in the states, and we have a total, and I am supporting our Rainbow Party, or Rainbow Coalition. President Ahmed Bola Tinubu is our president and is the one we are supporting. Chinda is the governorship candidate that I am supporting, and anybody who believes in me will support. And every candidate that is under the rainbow. For those of you who are saying, Fubara, hey, let's stay. We want to collect something before we run. There's nothing to collect. I am already in the family. I've gone back to our family. So please, wherever you are, give your total support to that coalition. We need to move forward. The time of war is over.
I saw that video trending online yesterday and I felt deep pity for Sim Fubara. His story is a very pathetic one. Sim Fubara is a man who was given an opportunity to help change the fortune of the Rivers State people, but he squandered it due to his decisions and his indecisions, because both of them played a pivotal role in where he has found himself today. On today's episode of An African Perspective, we take a deep dive into the decisions and indecisions of Sim Fubara. Welcome to An African Perspective. All right, so as many of us know, Sim Fubara used to be the accountant general under Nyesom Wike. That was when Nyesom Wike was governor of Rivers State. And after his service to the Rivers State people as the accountant general, Nyesom Wike decided that he wanted to put him as governor. It was Nyesom Wike's decision, as we've been able to find out in this past few years that he has served. So Nyesom Wike brought him and said, I want you to be governor. Nyesom Wike said that the main reason for bringing Sim Fubara to become the governor of Rivers State was because the Ijaw people had never been governor. So he wanted an Ijaw person to be the governor. And so he picked Sim Fubara. During the 2022 PDP governorship campaigns, one thing I found out was that Nyesom Wike was the one who was campaigning on behalf of Fubara. I made videos at that time in 2022 when I said, where is the governorship candidate of Rivers State? Why does he not speak during campaigns? Because all we're hearing then was Wike will pick up the mic, he will mount the podium, and then he will say, you people must do for me because I do for you. For those of us who followed the campaign, we will realize that what Wike did in the last, I think it was in the last 100 days, or was it last 100 days, or he did a 100-day commissioning of projects. I can't really remember what he did, but he was inviting people even from the opposition parties to come and help commission projects. So whenever he commissioned a project, he will say, if you do for me, I do for you. I build road for you, you go vote for me. You know, that was what he was just saying throughout the campaign season. And it was very rare to find Fubara speak. Then what Wike will do is that when he's done speaking, he will parade Fubara and his deputy. I think Fubara's deputy is a woman. He will just show them to the mammoth crowd that came, and then he will say, these are the people that you vote for, because if I do for you, you do for me, you know. And that was what the campaign was about. He used what he had done for the Rivers people as a bargaining chip to get them to vote for Fubara and his deputy. I think there were times when he even brought out the people who were contesting for Senate, House of Representatives, House of Assembly, and all those things. But Wike was the main driver of that campaign. Fubara didn't do anything. Fast forward, Fubara wins the election, and then trouble begins. Now, I'd like us to take a deep dive into the decisions and indecisions of Sim Fubara. Before Sim Fubara became the governorship candidate of Rivers State, he must have been given conditions, because as we know, there were conditions that were stated to him, that were given to him, which he didn't fulfill. It's why he's not coming back for the second term. Now, when you are given conditions before you become a governorship candidate or before you become a governor, you must know that you have to fulfill those conditions, because you agreed to do those things. You agreed. You were not forced. You agreed. This is where the indecision of Fubara came into play. Now, Nyesom Wike told Fubara, I will make you the governor, but these are the things that you have to do. Fubara agreed. It's why he was put on the ticket. He won and refused to do what he had been told to do. I made a video yesterday about Alex Oti and Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You can watch that. It's on my channel, but I will still link it at the end of this video. And I said that the basis of Nigerian elections or political power in Nigeria is godfatherism. our democracy, we don't even practice a democracy. I stated in that video that what we practice is called civil rule. We are simply ruled by civilians. The opposite of civil rule is military rule. That was what was happening under the Babangida, Abacha, Buhari, tenure. Because if you look at this Fubara situation, you will understand that it's not really the votes of the people of Rivers State that counted. It was that Wike wanted to put his person there, and he succeeded in putting his person there. So Fubara got into office and decided not to do what he had been told to do. The conditions that had been stated for him, he decided not to do it. Wike accused Fubara of listening to people who did not even support his candidature. So what Wike said was that when he chose to put Fubara as the governor of Rivers State, most of the people that Fubara was now listening to, they were people who were against his candidature. They didn't want him to be governor. But what happened was that Fubara decided to start listening to these people who didn't even support him when he wanted to become governor. And so he did not do what he had been told to do by Wike. One of the things Fubara said, and it's not actually been confirmed, but Fubara accused Wike of, I think, ₦1 billion monthly allocation. I think that was what Wike said he wanted from the federal allocation or from the IGR. I can't really remember the source of that money. But Fubara alleged that, was it Fubara or people around Fubara? There was an allegation that Nyesom Wike wanted ₦1 billion monthly from the allocation, whether it was FAC or IGR. But the fact remains that that indecision of Sim Fubara to fulfill the terms of his becoming governor put him in a dilemma. What were his decisions after that? Sim Fubara chose to fight Nyesom Wike. Probably the people who he was listening to told him to fight. Now, if we look at the history of Rivers State, we had Peter Odili, Rotimi Amechi, Nyesom Wike. Every person I've mentioned fought their predecessor. So Rotimi Amechi fought Peter Odili. Nyesom Wike fought Rotimi Amechi. Fubara wanted to try it, but he failed woefully. I don't know why he failed, because, generally the Ijaws are thought to be, or are believed to be, a very stubborn set of people. But probably it was not in his personality to fight. But when we look at these three previous governors, they all fought their predecessors. Nyesom Wike fought Rotimi Amechi to a standstill, that Rotimi Amechi was not able to come to Rivers State, I think, throughout the period that Nyesom Wike was governor. That was how bad Nyesom Wike fought Rotimi Amechi. So when he came to Fubara's turn, I'm sure the people who were supporting were telling him, don't worry, just fight. But he could not make a decision to go through. So he started it, but along the line, I don't think he had the bravado. He didn't have what it took, or he doesn't have, because I won't say he didn't have. If I say he didn't have, it means he now has it. He doesn't have what it takes to fight Nyesom Wike. He doesn't have it. And that's why this video at the beginning where he says, I've gone back to the family and I'm now endorsing Chinda. Chinda is an Ikwere man. The Ijaws were supposed to do 8 years in office. If we are to go by the principle of rotation, it was time for the Ijaws to do 8 years. I expected that Nyesom Wike will fill that position with another Ijaw man. But what Wike has done is that he has replaced an Ijaw man with an Ikwere man. So it's really sad to watch Sim Fubara, laughing on the podium, saying what he's saying. But he will go down as the most cowardly governor in the history of Nigeria. I will tell you, he will go down as the most cowardly governor in Nigeria. There's a video I want us to watch. It was an interview on Arise TV earlier today. It is the interview of Robinson Elvis, the former Rivers State PDP Acting Chairman. And I really want us to look at that interview.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
Well, sir, before you joined on, I said that President Fubara has disappointed his supporters and that he has even insulted all the elders, the youths, the women who went onto the streets, believing that they were doing the right thing by supporting him and defending him. He himself used to blow hot air, but now he's not even capable of hot air. He can't even blow soft breeze. And he's saying that what he's doing is for the sake of peace, and that what you lose here, you will gain there. Sir, what does he stand to gain? What do you think they have promised him for him to capitulate so badly and to demonstrate by eating his own vomit and saying, confirming that indeed the Right Honorable Minister Nyesom Wike is a master of the game in Rivers State. No Wike, no Rivers politics. Do you agree?
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me. First, let me correct the position of the acting chairman. I'm no longer the acting chairman of the People's Democratic Party in Rivers State. I was during the crisis under Fubara's faction. But when the crisis stopped, I ceased to be acting chairman. And by January 1 this year, at a rally at Omoko, when the FCT minister was touring the LGAs on a thank you visit, I did say that I have officially handed over to the then chairman of the party in the state, Aaron Chukwemeka, Aaron. So I'm no longer the acting chairman. So the position of Fubara, the position of Fubara made known to the Rivers people, or indeed Nigeria yesterday, was not the true reflection of what has happened over this period. Rivers crisis, Fubara FCT minister's crisis, stopped during the declaration of state of emergency in the state. During the declaration of the state of emergency, Fubara went on negotiation with the minister's team. During that negotiation, Fubara handed over the leadership of the 23 local government of the state to the FCT minister. He handed over every appointed position, boss, parastatals in the state to the FCT minister. Fubara during that negotiation agreed not to run for a second term. But there are other things, agreements too he reached, including removing the chief of staff from office and the SSG. But when Fubara finished that negotiation, what we, the followers, the supporters, expected from him was to come back home, gather his supporters, to tell them, look, oh, this is the status quo as at now. This is the position of things as at today. But Fubara didn't do this. He kept pretending. Ab initio, this crisis in Rivers State was an avoidable crisis if Fubara were to be open from the beginning. You see, when this crisis started, nobody knows the objective. We, the supporters, Fubara supporters, Fubara didn't tell us the objective of this crisis. Fubara didn't tell us what caused the crisis between him and the State House of Assembly. The Rivers people came out en masse with the perception that the FCT ministers is impending, stopping Fubara from delivering on the mandate given him, from doing his work as governor. That was why Rivers people, including myself, everybody came up and gave him that support. But from the beginning, Fubara didn't tell anybody anything. Up to the point that his supporters, his groups, went this year to say they are purchasing form to run election at the various levels. Fubara has already given up during the negotiation under the emergency rule. But his inability, his failure to come back and address his supporters, tell them, look, oh, this is what I have agreed. I have agreed on this, I have agreed on this, and I have agreed on that. Fubara didn't do that. That was why we find ourselves where we are now. To those of us who truly supported him and know that he went for the negotiation and agreed on all these things, by January 1 this year, I raised the red flag that, look, oh, this is where we are. Fubara has surrendered, that we should move on. We should join the Rainbow Coalition. I personally have joined the Rainbow Coalition January 1. To those hanging around Fubara, they know the truth. They know that Fubara has surrendered during the emergency rule. What they are doing now, I don't know. But I thank God today that Fubara has come to tell them. Because when I spoke, they felt I was joking. They called me name. They said I betrayed Fubara. But I told them this was the truth. Today, Fubara has come out to tell them this is where we are. So Fubara has not actually betrayed anybody or left anybody behind. Everybody from the emergency rule knows that Fubara has already handed over the state to the FCT minister. It's no news that he said it yesterday, and it's not going to make any news because as far as I know, he has already given up since the emergency rule last year. That is the true reflection of things.
The way Fubara gave up, the way he handed over the Rivers State government to Nyesom Wike, I don't know. I don't want to use the word weak. It's a derogatory word, but that's the only word to categorize somebody like Fubara. The state was put under a state of emergency by the president. And then you went and handed the state over to a minister, a former governor. Because that's what this man is alleging. This Robinson Elvis, who was the former Rivers State PDP Acting Chairman, that he gave the state, handed over the state parastatals, everything over to Nyesom Wike. And he still went and signed new conditions. A man could not fulfill the first set of conditions that he was given. He came again and signed another set of conditions. What kind of indecisive man is that? This man was never fit to be governor. It's just the truth. Let's be sincere. Sim Fubara was never fit to be governor. He wasn't qualified to be governor. The only reason why I believe that Nyesom Wike put Fubara as the governor of Rivers State is because he believed that he could be controlled easily. Because what is this? You were given a state to manage, to lead. You took that state and gave it to another man. They said you should remove your chief of staff. You removed him. They said you should remove this. What kind of man is that? Is there no fight in this man? Now you are shining teeth. I've gone back to the Rebel Coalition. My Oga, we have settled. I now endorse Chinda. Is that not a shame? Even Ambode of Lagos, when Tinubu tried to do that thing to Ambode fought. Ambode fought for his life in Lagos. Ambode was supposed to run 8 years. He was removed after 4 years. And then that was when this new guy was put. This current governor of Lagos was put. But he fought. He fought for his life. He fought. He didn't just go like that. He fought. I mean, what makes you a man if you can't fight? The Rivers State people were with him. The Rivers State people were supporting Sim Fubara. But he couldn't even use their mandate to do anything. Next thing, he was in Abuja. Became an APC member. When he made that move, a lot of people thought, oh, he has outsmarted Nyesom Wike. The guy no just try. This Sim Fubara guy no try at all. He no try. So, the Rivers State people now, the truth is that you have now become a duplicate of Lagos State because you now have one godfather that is going to hold you people by the balls for as long as possible, just like the godfather of Lagos has held Lagos. Because what's going to happen right now is that Nyesom Wike is going to choose every government official moving forward. It's possible that he's preparing his sons, one of his sons, to be governor of Rivers State. That is exactly where Rivers State people have found themselves. And that is why I said the votes of Nigerians do about 40% of the work. The rest is based on relationship, godfatherism. So it's so sad to see this. I mean, this is a man who people had much belief in. I believed in the man because when the fight started, almost everybody, due to emotion and sentimentality, we just favored Sim Fubara. We're like, they're oppressing him. We didn't even know that he was signing all these things at the back. He was agreeing to more conditions. I know how people were online talking. People were physically talking. The Arise TV crew, they kept talking about Fubara. No, they are being unfair to him. They were saying on Channels TV, the news media, they were talking about him, trying to favor him. But man, this guy was sabotaging himself. Look at what this man is saying. What he's saying is that Sim Fubara signed all these things. I didn't even let them know that he had given up. So it was during the negotiation that Sim Fubara agreed that he will not be governor again. And he didn't tell these ones. So why did he go and join APC? He was acting. You see, this guy, he was never fit. He's so sad. Ijaw people so sorry. Because before the thing go land for Ijaw hand again, go tay. If it tay, it might take a while before this thing gets into the hands of the Ijaws again. This was the man who was supposed to, see him. It's the shining teeth that annoys me the most. Yeah, another to the Rebel Coalition. Another to the Rebel Coalition. This is not something to laugh about because this is detrimental to our democracy. This is detrimental because this shows that any governor can do this in his state. Any governor with some level of grace can do it because Wike has a lot of grace. He has a lot of grace. And that means that a governor can just pick any lackey and put there. You understand? It's bad for it's bad for our civil rule because we don't do democracy in Nigeria. We don't do democracy. It's bad for our civil rule. It's bad. Really, really bad. So guys, I'd like to know what you guys think about this particular thing that Sim Fubara has done. He's going back to the Rebel Coalition. He's going back to his former boss, Nyesom Wike. I think it's sad. I think it's not commendable at all. But I want to know what you guys think about this particular thing that has happened and what it portends for the democracy, the so-called democracy that we practice in Nigeria. Do you consider this a bad move on the part of Sim Fubara? Please drop your comments in the comment section. I would like to read it and interact with you guys. Thank you for everyone who has subscribed to my channel, who likes my videos, those who share it, those who comment. I really appreciate you guys. Please continue to like, share, comment, share my videos so that the algorithm can pick it up and, you know, it can recommend it to more people, right? So I want to say thank you to you guys. I'll see you on the next episode of An African Perspective.